So this is Little Gay Guide, and it's been almost, and I mean almost 3 months, and I thought it would be really cool to end 2020. Oh God, would it be cool to end 2020? But I'm digressing. Well, this video will cover a lot of topics. It's gonna be 3 months and this channel, me and you guys. I'm gonna try to do this. I just learned it, timestamps, and give you a list of topics below as well as enumerate them now. It's gonna be a little about Little Gay Guide, the vlog, my relationship with my partners, the new office that I'm building that will probably be both a YouTube studio and my away from the common room space. A little about COVID, and of course, pre-COVID, during COVID, both conversation and ideas, this channel, my interviews and podcasts, my passions, gaming, anime, entertainment, politics, YouTube experience just as a whole. Of course, our move, the three of us, to our own conjoined place. And lastly, our trip to Manaus coming up at the end of the year to meet Fab's family. So let's dive right into it. First things first, so this vlog, so much to share, so much has happened. Subscribers, seriously, where you guys are coming from? It's mostly fellas. There was a moment there in the middle, I would say a month in, that there were some women on the channel and they kind of went away. And unfortunately, that's all YouTube analytics really share. It's the dissection between men and women. But thanks, Midori, your interview, I believe, brought at least some audience and female, which kind of tells me personally that I need to bring more different people and different perspectives onto the channel, and I'll help or make room or make space as best as I can for your voices and get mine out of the damn way. So that's the vlog. That's this channel. It grew to about 1,400 people, which is insane. And some videos are a lot of people, some are less. I'm still learning. It is what it is, and it's awesome. I feel that my voice has a place and an audience, and you are helping me realize a lot of the things that I want to share. Two, of course, is my relationship, and it's kind of funny because the video that's seen the most views was the one from us in PV, and talking about specifically how Fab and I went to the monogamish route, and of course the subsequent decision to stay monogamous and what does that mean for us. And yes, I guess thruples are interesting by merit of being a thruple. Anything out of the ordinary or the the templated coupling element is what are boundaries, what is crossing boundaries, how you mend them, and how things are more elastic than they are binary is, I think, an interesting topic, and in many ways is what I hope this channel will bring to a lot of people. So it makes me feel good that the one conversation that was for me personally the toughest was the most widespread one, if that makes sense. This is probably one of the last videos with this background around me, which is bittersweet, I guess, because I have a pretty sick background. It's the common room, and I'll share just a little bit because why the hell not? That's our living common area, and it dovetails to the kitchen, which is I want to be away from the common area, especially when it comes to COVID. It's only fair for me to be out of the way when either Kevin or Fab or both are working from home. So that will be the new office will be its own reveal and in its own time. Yeah, it's a little sad to leave the space and the backdrop, but I get to create my own studio from scratch, which is just awesome. COVID accelerated so much, and in my conversation with Andy, we were talking about how he just de-shelled or uncovered or unmasked a lot of who we really are as people, and that means that a lot of us get to see what reality really is. And I know that's a lot of run-ons and a lot of repetition, but I mean it. I mean that we got to see who we really are in certain circumstances, and because the four walls being a constant for most of us, we also got to see what the world around us really is. Who's close to us, who's not close to us, what our passions really are, how do we really recharge in a very limited recharging space. and externally speaking, what he did to our communities, to our cities, to our inlands, what he did to San Francisco. A lot of the things that I've seen that should have been coming down the road in about 15, 30 years are really already here. Between automation and just job replacement rate to telecommute and otherwise, it's here and we're waking up to it, which is just absurd. Our next topic is post-COVID, which is we're going to have a vaccine. But the thing is, rollout is going to take a year. And for most of us, that means that this reality is not changing much at all. If anything, the hope element is going to make the last drags of the last month that much more difficult. And I'm hoping I'll be here for you to make it a little easier. Post-COVID is going to be a very interesting world, especially post-COVID vaccine now, which is an in-between world. There's a lot here and now that we need to come to terms with, as none of the things we know as normal or reality are still pretty far away. So I guess buckle up and I'll be here for you as best as I can. Which brings me to the next topic, my channel. I understand a lot of the videos are rough. My editing skills are lousy, to say the very, very least. I'm learning to write shit down, which is practically what you're seeing in front of you now. It's funny because I got the PS5 and I'm thinking, I really want to share with my audience my passion. The thing that recharged me is video gaming and anime. By the way, it took a whole day of clicking refresh. I do not recommend it. With all due respect to Miles Morales, the game, it's not enough to justify this investment. And yes, Cyberpunk is here, but it would be nicer to play it without all these bugs. And also, my guys are really against streaming if they're playing the game with me, so I'm alone. So maybe I will stream Tetris Effects. It's short enough and I can stream it, and I got the okay from the guys. I did get the HD camera just in case I will stream something. Next topic, not just streaming in general, but rather entertainment. Let's talk just really briefly about Queen's Gambit. Oh my effing god. If this was not TV's perfection within the last decade, what the F is? Literally the perfect show. I between writing to period pieces to women empowerment to kind of capturing that magic, the genie in the bottle, that lightning in the bottle, all together with cinema photography and a 1950s movie backdrop in her last match. And oh my god, it was such a wonderful gift compared to how horrible was Tiger King in the beginning of COVID. And now we have Queen's Gambit to just end it. It's perfect. Slightly election driven, but I will not go down that tangent. It brings me to Uncle Frank. Guys, watch Uncle Frank. I understand it's an LGBTQ story plus empowerment, and it's beautiful and it's touching. And Fab and I were bawling the whole way through. And when it managed to upstage our expectation, it just became this beautiful piece of content that I want to share with as many people as possible. Which brings me to The Mandalorian. Can't we just call it a piece of crap? I mean, I'm entertained, but it kind of feels like just the writers took their own tangent and said, F it to the whole world. I can say fuck it, right? It's my channel. Fuck it to the whole world, and we're kind of there because some things are cool and some scenes are kick-ass, but literally there's no reason for him to pick up any mission. Most of the episodes are throwaways, and even when we get to see something cool, it kind of doesn't make any sense. So can we just say F the Mandalorian? We still watch it, and we will, but it just doesn't make any sense. None of it makes sense, and it seems like the writers are like, whatever. We can just tell them to do a thing and they do a thing. We don't need to explain it. Politics. Our country is not shades of blue. One of my main assertions in life has been decimated by this election. I mean, let's pause and thank every single community organizer out there and say from the bottom of our hearts, you saved our country. But the biggest work is yet to come. And those runoffs, I mean, $500 million is already going into them in Georgia. It's insane. But yes, we have a sliver of hope, and there is a real dialogue about trying to actually radically change our country. And we need to pause for a second, because I do want to say, if you would have told me a year ago that I would be literally titillated by the fact that boring and routine might excite me, if not downright bedazzle me. I would not. So politics. I'm afraid of what Trump would do. I'm afraid that today, after today's official count is over and the electoral college are finished, he'll be officially voted out. He'll do what he does best, which is rape, pillage, and plunder in his GOP mentored way. I really shudder at the thought of what that means. I'm hopeful for Kamala and Biden. I'm hopeful that boring and routine may give us some breathing room. COVID took all that away from us. There is no escaping. There is no way out. This is it. At least I get to vent with you, which is nice. Thank you. Yay. So, YouTube. It's a weirdly exciting place. I mean, I know that I'm self-taught, and before I get a team, I have to be self-taught, which is counterintuitive to me as a person who's been in an early stage startup and a self-starter, and tend to be surrounded by other self-starters in startups, and equity sharing is a thing. So some of my videos, lots of my videos are amateur hour, which is actually fun, believe it or not. The ones that aren't so amateurish are actually so damn hard to make and take so much time that I understand why so many YouTubers are taking a whole week to edit. I get it. Editing is hard. Making it snappy is harder. I'll tell you what's super easy for me. Thank the heavens for the powers that may be for it, is talking. That's just me. 100% wrong. This is me now. This is easy. Side note, back to anime, just because I feel like talking about it. I am enjoying some of them. The new season of Attack on Titan, Shingeki no Kyojin, is coming out, or just came out. I didn't have time to really watch it yet. But I can't wait to see the ending. It's supposed to be great. I didn't read the manga. And Jujutsu Kaisen is actually kind of fun. And I think for a person like me that needs his shonen fix, Demon Slayer definitely gave it earlier on in last year. And One Piece is nearing its 1,000th chapter. I mean, Ichiro Oda actually wrote 1,000 chapters. This has been going for 20 plus years. My favorite piece of, I guess, entertainment has now been with me for 20 plus years. Holy heck. I can say holy fuck too, right? It's my channel. Holy fuck. Which brings me to a very completely topic, which is the movie itself. So, yes, it was stressful, and yes, it took a lot out of me. And it's an amazing new place. And yes, the trite I could not post as much is true, but also kind of saving that montage for a friend that maybe can help in some way in terms of editing. I really do want to share the places that we had before to where we're going. So yeah, which brings me to our very, very last point. So Fab, Kev, and I are going to Manaus to meet Fab's family, which is amazing. We've been together 2.5-ish years, and the three of us, of course. And it's time to meet the family, and I'm a little sorry for Fab because he's going to have to play this translator role at the same time that we get to meet the whole family. At the same time as it's Christmas in Brazil. As a translator, I literally do not know how that's going to look like, but I honestly believe from the bottom of my heart that we're going to meet amazingly warm people, and I cannot wait because Fab is so similar to me in so many ways. We must have come from very similar upbringings. That is 3 months in whatever minutes I've managed to do it, on top of course, looking at 2020 and a little forward into 2020-21. Thank you for being a part of my audience so much. I will try to make it a snappy edit. I can't promise much. I can just say that I love every single one of your views. I mean it. It tells me somebody took the time to listen to what I have to say. And for you, I am grateful. It might be the last video of this format for the year. Again, as I said in the previous one, I will continue the interviews. But until then, for each one of you, I love you and thank you. This has been Little Gay Guide, my 2020 3-month vlog recap. Thank you.